Hey guys, Kai here with TransformYourGame.net, and today we're going to be doing what is currently one of the scariest decks to play against in the meta, and that is going to be Sky Shadow Horri-Bull, or as you may have noticed from the video title, it's SS Incredi-Bull, because when we figured out this deck out, it was just so crazy that Horri-Bull basically became Incredi-Bull. So not that he wasn't amazing before, but this deck is just one of the ways in which we could stretch out the power of Horri-Bull. So, of course, we're playing Horri-Bull. We're playing the 2 pieces of Sky Shadow for the SS, and then we are playing Grax, 5-star, not 5-star, 5 HP head for Horri-Bull, so that we can give him the most amount of HP possible to abuse his body mode ability. And then since we have 2 stars left over, we're going to play a Sky Shadow Sync so that we can combine these two when one of them gets KO'd. And then of course we're playing all Decepticons, so we're playing the Villainous Spotlights to give us 2 additional star cards that aren't Improvised Shield, double oranges, and something like that. But yeah, this is currently one of the best decks out there right now. It's easily one of the scariest to play against. So much so that it has warped the format a bit to where you need to play at least some number of Hollow Matter unless you're this deck, in which I don't think you need to per se, but you can. Yeah, I think we'll get into the deck profile. It'll be easier for me to explain a lot of the deck stuff if we go from there. So we'll start off with the weapons. We're playing 3 grenade launcher. We're playing 3 sturdy javelin, excuse me. We're playing 2 power punch. We're playing 2 fusion bore, 1 mounted missiles, 1 backup beam, and 1 scoundrel's blaster. Best weapon in the game, especially for orange deck, +4 orange color. There's just no need to explain this card. It's just so good. You should be every orange deck. You should play this card, and probably even black deck. I'd probably still consider it. Sturdy Javelin, if you're playing range characters, this is an easy way to just maximize your upgrade slots, or your upgrade play, because it plays around Sabotage Armaments, and it's just 2 damage on any character you want, outside of like Hollow Matters or what's the card? Reflect damage. So just really solid, and it's a white, so really easy to include for pip variety. Power Punch. We're playing 2 Power Punch because I wanted the bold because we are playing a lot more double oranges than, say, the standard Horri-Bull deck. Most Horri-Bull decks aren't running improvised shields, and I think this is a list specifically that's more. It's not the generic Horri-Bull shell. There are some variations that I took from the generic Horri-Bull shell to make it more have more favorable matchup against the mirror, but for the most intents and purposes, this is basically probably one of the better generic shells, I would say. It's not the generic shell like the ones that we've seen top some of the events that have happened currently, but yeah, enough of that babbling. Power Punch. One of the problems I've had with the deck before was it was playing a lot more stronger Solidarity Black cards like Triple Fusion Bore. It was playing increased durability. It was playing enhanced power cells, and it was just you were flipping a lot of black, and it was just not RR Disruptor Blade. I think that card is okay, but I just personally would not play because there are just stronger Solidarity Blacks that you could play in the deck. Fusion Bore and Camming Crash are just 2 of the best Solidarity Black cards in the game, in my opinion. So I went with Power Up Punch because we are playing the improvised shields, so it can get better, but also it's just the orange pit, really. We just want more. We don't care really if we're triggering off Horri-Bull, because I don't like, we're playing 2 fusion bores so that we get the additional Horri-Bull triggers, but most of the time you're triggering Horri-Bull off your action play anyway, and most of the actions you're playing are burn cards, so I'm not saying I feel that's enough, but I'm choosing to make the concession of not always getting my upgrade trigger, simply just for what I believe to be better upgrades, because these cards are just better in my opinion than flipping an R disruptor multiple times in combat and only doing like 6 pierce 3, and that's just not good. That's just nowhere near good enough. So 6 pierce 3 is actually really strong for that. So it's more like 5 pierce 2 or something, and it's just like, ugh. It could be 7 pierce 1 or 8 and without a weapon. So yeah, we're just playing more orange because of that. So yeah, that tangent aside, I'm just playing the power punch for more orange, to where it's a more traditional orange deck. 2 fusion borer. Again, just one of the best solitary blacks in the game, in my opinion. Don't really care that it falls off compared to our Disruptor, because I feel this card is just way more impactful, especially if you have it on default Sky Shadow himself. Then he just becomes Pierce 7, and that is just crazy. And that's before you get the Bull too, so you're playing a lot of orange black, so he can swing for very high numbers. Mounted missiles. Usually, you're playing, when you play star cards for orange, you just play the mounted missiles. But since you are usually 3 to 2 wide at a given time, I never really found that there's a situation where you will play 2 mounted missiles. So I chose to play one of the other star cards. I'll show it in a little bit, but yeah, I think if you see it, it's fine. You just really just want to flip it for the double black. And then Backup Beam and Scoundrel's Blaster. One's a static number, one's just a bold number. They're both roughly about the same. You can play 2 Backup Beam, you can play 2 Scoundrel's Blaster. It's ultimately up to you, but it's just the green pip. You just want the green pip so that your guys can hit hard, because having them hit hard and then Horri-Bull's triggers combine, that's where I feel like the magic should happen for this deck. So, because you just want your deck to hit hard. Alright, so for our armors, we're playing 2 Improvised Shield, 2 Bashing Shield. It's just hard to find a third copy for this, and I feel 2 is still fine because we're playing 2 other star double oranges, so that's all good. If you don't really particularly know what matchup you would probably play the third one in, but you could consider siding it, I guess. 2 Bashing Shield. It is almost ubiquitous that you're going to be playing against a Hollow Matter, unless you're probably playing against a Mirror or something, in which case you may not need these, but the +1 defense just comes up so much, especially with the 2 random blues that we have in the deck. Sky Shadow can sporadically defend for 3 to 4, so that may be enough to throw off their numbers and allow Sky Shadow another swing. Unrealistic, but you're really just playing it for the Hollow Matter projectors. And then, of course, 1 Enhanced Power Cell and 1 Pocket Processor. I'm still playing a 1 over this card because a lot of people are going towards disassemble instead of reprocess, and that means I almost call these accessories, the utility slot is just a lot harder to hit now. So +3 health, you put it on your Sky Shadow combine, and he just becomes a lot harder to kill. And also it allows Horri-Bull to not only trigger but keep triggering because of the +3 health. So very solid. And then Pocket Processor just allows you to keep getting gas, because it just draws you extra cards. And it's also green, so it just ups the green count so that when you draw your Improvised Shields, you can have a usable play with it. So there's that. And then for our actions, we're playing 3 Peace Through Tyranny, 3 Fight for Position, 3 Kameen Crash, 3 Magnetic Dysfunction Ray, 2 Precision Fire, 2 Rock Toss, 3 Wedge Formation, 1 Even Score, and 1 Disassemble. Peace of Tyranny is quite honestly just one of the best cards in the game. It's hard to argue otherwise, because this card just keeps getting more and more powerful every set that we see it. still legal. So I'm not calling for a ban or anything. I'm just saying it's really, really good. Fight for position, orange-black, triggers Horri-Bull. Bold 2 is good enough in the orange mirror. I don't really... Basically, the Horri-Bull trigger basically makes up for the Bold 2, in all honesty. So that and a lot of our actions are direct damage, so just having 3 of a damage pump is just a good enough variety, given that we're playing so many other direct damage spells. 3 Camming Crash. If you're not playing 3 Camming Crash with Horri-Bull, you are missing out on the potential ceiling of 5 damage in a single turn, which, if you don't know, you have Horri-Bull in body mode. You play Camming Crash, you do 2 damage off Camming Crash, 1 damage off Horri-Bull. You play, like, say, Fusion Bore, that's another damage on Horri-Bull, so that's 4 damage altogether. Then you flip Horri-Bull to alt mode, and then you move a damage, so that's 5 damage altogether, which is part of the reason for why this deck is just so insanely crazy and scary. So 3 Camming Crash is honestly one of the best, if not the best, black solitary card in the game. 3 Magnetic Dysfunction Ray. We're playing 3 of these over playing additional copies of these because this suppresses the Autobot, so we don't need that scum in our life. So we're playing 3 copies of this. Then 2 Precision Fire. It's really just a ping with Horri-Bull because it's basically just an additional copy of Rock Toss, just a little more versatile. So playing 2 and 2. Rock Toss is Positive Burst in a sense, just for your opponent has to have a tap character. So there's that. Wedge Formation. So Wedge Formation basically guarantees that you always have a Horri-Bull trigger because it's the green, and then since you're drawing because of the Sky Shadow, you can basically just filter to where you can get like Fusion Bores or Enhanced Power Cell or something, or basically just fix your hand of a bunch of upgrades. Because I have had a few situations where I'll flip this and I just have like 3 weapons in hand, so I'll just swap one of the weapons for this and just start drawing other actions that I can play on my following turns. Even the score, it won't come up all too often, but there will be times where, similar to Hold the Line, there may be a situation to where a really strong character has to attack into a weak character, and if you can time this, then you will be able to just get a lot of damage off that interaction. But it doesn't happen too often, so I usually just end up scrapping it for Wedge Formations or Pocket Processor or something. But it's still nice as the utility because, again, I don't know if you really care to play 2 mounted missiles on a character or multiple characters, because I'm just playing so many weapons. I'm going to be able to play another weapon anyway. Disassemble. Because of the way you can time your triggers, you can play the Disassemble, resolve Disassemble first, destroy their Hollow Matter, and then Horri-Bull will be able to ping that character because you played the black pip card. So yeah, it basically helps to where you can do your action play and then play a weapon, or you can play Bashing Shield and then you can play something else. It basically gives you utility, but it's just more useful than Bashing Shield because it's the black. But we're just playing so many actions already. We're playing 21 actions and a lot of them are burns that I feel just 1 is fine. So that's the deck. You can use this list as a just like for a gauntlet or whatever, because if you are not prepared to play against this deck in a tournament, you are probably going to have a bad time. Like, even just having a Hollow Matter will make you way more prepared for the deck than any other deck. Like, this is basically just the new bugs standard to where or aggro standard to where if you cannot beat this deck in any capacity, then you should probably look to play another deck in a tournament. So that's the list. Feel free to use it for your testing needs, or to play against, or to smash your friends and make them quit the game. Don't actually do that. Don't be that mean to them. But this is just one of the scariest decks to play. So I figured I would at least give you guys a look into what I would do with the deck. I've played the deck quite consistently since Horri-Bull was basically revealed. He's just been so strong. And yeah, so that's the current iteration of the deck. I haven't had too many chances to test out this version, but it has done it. The previous version of this has worked pretty well, and this is just iterating further into the orange side of it for the mirror. So I feel it should be pretty solid, and it's a kind of generic core-ish anyway. So, but yeah, getting to the point to where I'm rambling and don't know how to end this. So if you like this content, be sure to well, you don't have to, but I'd like it if you gave it a like, if you gave it a comment with whatever feedback you want. I'd even really like it if you gave us a little subscriber. Click the little subscriber button down below. That'd be real cool. But yeah, again, I don't know how to end this. Actually, hold on. So the next deck profile I might do, I'm really probably pinning myself against the wall by saying what it is, but it'll probably be a Perceptor deck because I haven't actually posted a Perceptor deck. So yeah, we'll post my current favorite Perceptor deck and we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, that's the deck profile. I need to learn how to end these things better. Give me critiques. Comment down below on how I should end these videos. But until then, I'll see you guys later.